Hi everybody, it's Mike Andrew. This upcoming video is longer than I wanted it to be, but I couldn't help it. The theme is stop acting like a boss and just be a good manager or leader. I hope you listen. Thank you. Hi everybody, how are you? It's Mike Andrew. I'd like to talk about something that I brought up in bits and pieces in the past, but I'd like to present it in a different way. It's for all levels of management, whether you're a CXO to a VP to a middle manager, whatever. And the message is this: stop acting like a boss and just simply be yourself, be genuine, and be a good manager or leader. And because I find that people, when they get into these levels of management, something kicks in. For some of them, I met some incredibly good managers, leaders, by the way. But I'm talking for the few that think that because they get selected into management, they can now have an ego, act like the boss, shut their door. You got to ask for permission. You got to go to the secretary. The secretary has to ask, is it okay if this person comes in? I never bought into that. I had one executive, one senior person. His organization got low marks on their employee engagement score, so he wanted to put a committee together. I said, you don't need a committee. Just, you're a vice president. Do you know the effect you will have if you take 10 minutes every week, get out of your office, walk around to one of the 80 people in your organization or 100, and just walk around. I call it MBWA, managing by walking around. Acknowledge people and what they're doing. I heard you're working on this thing. It's going well. Thank you. Thank you for that. Acknowledge their value, their contribution. That would do so much more to increase your engagement score than putting together a committee and trying to find out why. The impact a vice president or a senior manager can have on his or her team. I had another colleague, a vice president, that I sat in on this meeting with. It was myself and him and one of his employees, about 3 levels below. And she had been working on this project for about 4 months, and they've been communicating back and forth. And he came down really hard on her. He spoke to her in a way that I know he would never talk to his manager or people above him. There's no way he would talk like that to them. That's character. That's being genuine. You got to be genuine and treat people with dignity. And I said, have you two been working on this together? Yeah. I said, is this the first time you're hearing about this? They didn't know how to answer it. And when she left, I said, you know something? If I could just give you some friendly advice, stop acting like a vice president. Just be a good vice president. And he didn't know what to say. He didn't respond. Maybe he was embarrassed. But to me, leadership is about consistently achieving results, doing so with integrity, humility, and treating people with dignity while growing and developing your people. In that case, he certainly wasn't growing and developing her. And also, in that case, that lady, high potential actually, left the department after maybe 2-3 months and is still thriving in another part of the organization. So stop acting like a boss and just be a good manager. Be genuine, be yourself, demonstrate integrity, demonstrate character, be genuine, demonstrate humility. Most importantly, treat people with dignity. Let me tell you, I've worked with some very high profile people, and ironically, they're the ones that will return phone calls, will return emails, will return WhatsApp messages because they're good leaders. It's those that are acting like a boss that don't do that. There's no need to close your door, got to ask the secretary for permission. The secretary has to knock on the leader's door. Is it okay if so-so can? I was a vice president at a multi-billion-dollar company, and I kept my door open. And I think open door, by the way, is a lot more than just keeping your door open. It's returning phone calls, it's returning emails, acknowledging people, not treating them differently because they're below you, treating them the same way, everybody the same way, whether it's the CEO, your boss, your employees, or the person that makes coffee. Treat everybody the same. There's a saying, people who look up to God never look down on others. So I used to keep my door open, and I couldn't believe the amount of unplanned, unexpected conversations that I had about the business that brought great value. And so that's really important. So that's the message today. Stop acting like a boss and just be a good manager or leader. Thank you for listening.